Hello, everyone. You made it to week 4. I am so excited about the material we will be talking about today. It's one of my favorite topics, leadership development. I love having a team and I love encouraging my team and working with my team. I love going over reports and stats. So I really enjoyed getting this training ready for you all. So without further ado, I'm going to just jump right in. I have exactly 30 minutes before I have to go pick up my 2 oldest from school. So we're just going to dive in, and I look forward to going over this with you all. All right. So week 4, leadership development. Thank you so much for joining our last call. I can't believe this is our last call. I have enjoyed doing this with you ladies, and I am so proud as I've seen your accomplishments in your business these last couple of weeks. So the purpose of today's call is basically to give you an overview of what a typical month looks like for a leader. Now, remember that your personal business will always come first. Learn from me. My team grew fast. When I became a team manager, I pretty much abandoned my personal business. And a few months down the road, it really caught up with me, and I was in big trouble. And I don't want that to happen to you. I think that it's easy for team stuff, especially if you enjoy doing team stuff, to take up the majority of your time. So just remember, keep it in the back of your mind that your personal business will always come first. It seems like once a leader promotes, their focus shifts to working primarily with their team versus keeping their eye on their own business. You will always need to have your calendar full. Guess what? To be a team manager or higher, you have to have 700 PRV every single month. So that's not just going to happen magically. You have to keep your calendar full. You have to consistently recruit. This will be the only way to build wide and to grow deep, which will allow you to hold your rank and to continue promoting up the compensation plan. When you stop doing these activities, you also stop leading your team by example, and you lose momentum. And that's definitely what happened to me. Not only that, your team will follow suit. You may not think that they are watching you, but they watch everything that you do. So we're going to cover recognition and shout outs today, tracking reports, personal outreach, and team meetings. Now keep in mind that, as I've said many times, this is an example of what a typical month for a leader can look like. We're all unique. We're all creative in how we run our organizations, but this will just kind of give you a guideline, an idea of what you can expect as you move into leadership ranks. So recognition, as we stated, many people come to the direct sales industry because of the recognition. Who here can say that they have been recognized at their last job for a job well done? Or, if you're a stay-at-home mom, we don't usually get praise for doing the laundry well and cooking a good dinner. That we don't typically get that recognition from our children. It probably doesn't happen often, and that's why so many of us love the direct sales industry, because home office, your team manager, your sponsor, we want to cultivate that atmosphere of recognizing and appreciating the accomplishments of those on our teams. There are 2 forms of recognition. one for accomplishment. So an example of that would be, top in sales, top in recruiting, top in team building, and the other is effort. Those that are working hard and doing the correct activities, but might not be seeing the success quite yet. So keep in mind, it's important to recognize both. And I try to do that. I hope you see me doing that. You want to recognize both of those behaviors, both accomplishment and effort. So what types of recognition are there? Here are some examples, and you can decide what works best for you. It is important to remember, as always, that your voice is powerful, that your voice will always make you more money, and the only way that your team can really truly hear your excitement for their accomplishment is through an audio message or phone call. Phone calls are really hard for me. I wish and I hope that someday, as my children get older, it will be easier for me to make recognition phone calls. But I definitely try to do recognition audio messages. And if I'm really excited or really proud of someone, I will send them, a quick voice message over Messenger, just so they can hear that excitement in my voice and how proud I am of them. You can't, an emoji doesn't really convey that as well, as our actual voice. You don't have to wait until you are a team manager to do these things. I didn't. I started recognizing those on my team before I was a team manager. But if you are a team manager, you definitely, want to be doing these things. So here are some examples of accomplishments and efforts you can recognize. Top sales and recruitings, top number of parties submitted, consistency in their business, attend all trainings, support the team Facebook page, Jamiversaries. This can be done, the first of the week, after the month. This can be done the first week of the month, after the prior month closes. We usually do recognitions throughout the month, and then, recognitions in our team meeting as well. Just do it while it's still fresh in your mind. Reaching out and congratulating your team will encourage them and inspire them in the coming months. Personal outreach cards. Who doesn't love to get mail? That is why we do Stomp the Zero and Club Active. We love getting mail. And the effort and energy that you put into writing an I see you card really speaks volumes to the person receiving it, because they know that you spent time and money to send them something, even if it's something simple. The cards, snail mail can acknowledge efforts for, that someone is working hard, putting in the time, and just encourages them. I guarantee you that as you send cards to your downline, they will be bursting with pride. They will be so excited that they were recognized and that you spent the time to do that, and that they will put those cards in places where, they can constantly see them. I remember one time I got a note from Jamie Wallace, our upline, when I had re-ranked to senior executive after losing that rank. And another time I got a note from Julie. I think she sent a note to all of her executives, and it just encouraged me. I mean, they have thousands of people on their downline, and it just really encouraged me that they took the time to send me a note. And you better believe I have those on my vision board. And I love seeing them and remembering them. So think about that. team page and Facebook Spotlight, choose one person that you would love to feature in Spotlight just because they are doing an exceptional job. Hearing other voices lends to credibility and may help inspire someone else on the team. Facebook Live. You know, we haven't really talked about this a whole lot, but I would love it if you guys would get on Facebook Live when something exciting has happened to you in your business. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out. So use that and, you know, shout yourself out, shout out your own accomplishments, shout out, not in a bragging way, but just in an excited way, you know, guys, you know, like we're doing the blessing bag thing right now. You could just hop on Facebook Live and just share how that's been going for you and what an encouragement it's been for you. You know, do a shout out for someone on your downline. There are so many different ways that we can do recognition. And like I said, you don't have to wait until you're a team manager to do that. All right, let's move on to the next topic here, tracking reports. I love reports. I love looking at the TAR. I love looking at the genealogy. That's just me. Not everyone enjoys that, but it is a very important part of being a leader. You have to know what's going on with your downline. You know, many of us are not analytical, and looking at reports can seem very daunting, but once you get comfortable with it and understand the value of it to your business, I know that you will be more likely to use it as a resource. Remember, in this industry, there is a third coming in, a third staying, and a third going. It is important to know where everyone fits in your organization because you want to be spending your time with those that are working. So that's one reason why reports are so valuable. You need to know who is consistently working, and that helps you know who you need to be working with. Sometimes we get lost working with those who don't have the will to work. They may have all the skill in the world, but just lack the will to get it done. And, you know, you just have to let those people go. Let me explain how to explain how to access who to work with on your team, as this will give you a better guide at where to spend your time when you are going to be doing any sort of outreach or coaching. So Jamberry has our team categorized into 4 categories: A, B, C, and D. So you can see those there on the slide. A, superstars; B, steady eddies; C, brand ambassadors; and D, dormant. I would also add that people can move between those categories. I have had people go from dormant to superstar. I have had people go from superstar to dormant. You know, it's very fluid. But I could tell you, because I look at my reports, if we were, you know, sitting down talking to one another, I could tell you all the different people who are in the different categories, and then that determines how I work with them. So A, superstars. These consultants are typically the ones that are selling the most, you know, month after month, and really need little to no motivation to get it done. They're very self-motivated. They are goal-oriented. You know, the rewards and incentives that home office provides, or that you know, I provide as the team manager, they just are always going after those. These people bring energy and life to your team. This can also include new consultants, because they bring a lot of life and ideas and energy to your team. And new consultants can also typically have, you know, high sales, high energy. So superstars / you know, the majority of new consultants are that category A. Next we have B, steady eddies. These are consultants who consistently do something every month. Now, everyone will have a different criteria for what that is, but maybe it's 500 PRV, maybe it's a certain number of parties. You need to decide what that looks like for you. And it will also change over time as people shift in their needs and goals with their business. So think about those people that are consistent, that are working every month. These people you might not be checking in with quite as often as your superstars, but you definitely check in with them once or twice a month. They really bring a lot to your team, a lot of consistency to your team. C, brand ambassadors. These are consultants on our team who love the product and are passionate about selling it to their family and friends and earning their product at a discount. They will typically be active, most months, but they're not going to be super sellers or, super recruiters. D for dormant. These consultants are typically elusive and maybe on their way to retirement. They put in an occasional order, but you're not going to hear a lot from them or get a lot from them. So now you need to analyze your team and figure out who you have in each group. Don't be surprised if you don't have a lot in top A. This will be a select few, but you are always wanting to add more there. You personally should always be a leader in the A group. As you are leading by example with everything you do, breaking down your team is a critical step to knowing what you have to work with, but more importantly, where you need to be spending your time. If you are spending too much time with your C and D groups, you probably are not being the most effective leader, as they are not wanting much more than what they are doing. Your primary focus should always be on your A and B groups. Make it a priority to assess these groups every few months, as things can change, like I said, and fluctuate. The groups can be fluid. It is important for you to use your reports to figure out who these people are in your genealogy. So if you have your computer out, I guess you do have your computer out if you're listening to this. So pull up your TAR. To get there, you click on Volumes and Earning in your workstation. The TAR report will provide so much information for you. You need to be checking this on a regular basis, and you can sort your TAR in a lot of different ways, and this can be really helpful as you look through and decide who you need to be working with. So here's an example. Go to TAR. You can select the given month and entire downline. From there, you can see how many of your downline were active in that particular month and how many were inactive. There's also the team monthly scorecard. That's really helpful, which is listed under My Team on your workstation. And this gives you stats on how your team is performing month by month. And you can see it all laid out there. This is where you can assess how they are performing on a monthly basis, and you will always want to see them improving. So go to your scorecard. And you can look at what percentage were active last month, what percentage are active so far this month, and what was your highest percentage thus far in the year. And that can help you see trends in which months tend to have higher sales, etc. All right. So next we have, I kind of already went over that. I just forgot to move the slide. Personal outreach. One of the biggest and most important things we do in our business is building relationships. You all know that. Everything hinges on building and forging a great working relationship so that everyone is succeeding on their own terms. This starts from the moment that we meet someone as a customer, a host, or when they join our team. Focus on fostering a great team atmosphere. Initially, the training responsibility of the new consultant falls to the team manager, but your goal is to get to that rank. So, I want to see you taking that responsibility too. You will want to work closely with your leader to learn, observe, and partner with her when she is onboarding and coaching your new team member. So if you are on my team, reach out to me. If you're on Jessica's team, reach out to her. If you are on Katie's team, reach out to her. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to us, because we want to help you know how to be a leader and how to coach and work with your teams. Once you are comfortable with your leadership skills, you can take a more active role in the process. Even if your upline is providing the training and coaching of new recruits, you still need to develop a working relationship with this emerging team. I am happy to work with your girls and to train them. That is my job as the team manager. But you also need to be doing that too, and you need to develop a working relationship with them. This will create loyalty to the company. It creates long-term consultants because they feel connected to you, and they will replicate what they see you doing and do that same thing as they develop their own teams. This business is so much more about the we mentality, which means all of your team is inclusive versus thinking of the me and what is in it for myself. It is absolutely imperative that we reach down in our teams and pull people up. Do not be afraid to support all generations of your team, because you don't know who is a gem in one of your legs. All right. So how do you do this? Proactive outreach calls. These calls are initialized after looking at your TAR and observing certain criteria in the reports. These can be a check-in call that really, just shows them your support and that you can answer questions that they may have. As we know, new consultants in particular have questions about the product, and you can be their best resource when it comes to this. Texting or messaging. This is a great option for a quick thinking of you message to your team. I do this all the time. You can do it while you're in line at the grocery store. I send voice messages while I'm driving to pick up kids from school. Just let your team know that you're thinking about them. This keeps you connected and in the forefront of your team member's mind. All right. Next we have, already read that. I'll let you look at it. Personal outreach. Remember, it is imperative that we reach down in our teams and pull people up. Do not be afraid to support all generations of your team. All right. And lastly, we have team meetings. This is another, vital part of where a team manager spends their time. One vital aspect to growing team spirit, unity, and identity is through team meetings. You do not have to do them until you are a team manager, but you always want to be working at that level that you are inspiring to grow to. I have premier consultants on my downline that do team meetings. They're not team managers. They're not required to do them, but they are stepping up and they are doing them because they want their teams to see them as leaders. And that is very important. Team meetings are a great place for everyone on your team to come together collectively to learn and grow. The 3 objectives of a team meeting are place for consultants to affiliate, recognition, and training. So number 1, many people join companies like us as they want to be part of a bigger purpose. By having a place for them to come and affiliate with others, it gives them a sense of belonging. Number 2, Recognition. We've already talked about how important recognition is. Everyone loves to be recognized by their peers in front of their peers. This is all about the moment and not about the memento. Give them the opportunity to shine, and they will continue to shine. And then lastly, training. Obviously that is a very pivotal piece of team meetings. Consultants learn from each other, not just from the leader. We all learn from each other. We have so many resources in place that we don't have to manufacture the information or recreate the wheel. Your meetings can be, informal, just a place to gather and connect and train and learn from one another. All right. Now, we do online team meetings because Anna and I do our meetings together. Katie and Jessica often join in too with their teams. And I live in Iowa. Anna and Jessica live in Arkansas, and Katie lives in Florida. So we are all very spread out. So we've decided to use Zoom as our, method of doing team meetings. And it's a great way to connect face-to-face, even though we don't live by each other. So whatever you decide to do, if you have, a lot of team members in your area, live is always best. But that's not always practical if you're spread out or just have different situations. But whatever you decide to do for your meetings, you need to be consistent. And this will help you advance, to team manager. So no, you're not required to do a team meeting. But if you're wanting to be a team manager, doing monthly or even every other month, doing some sort of informal gathering, meeting with your team is so, so valuable, either in person or online. All right. So in closing, that was a lot of information. And I went through it really fast. I know that there is more that you will need to learn as the days and weeks and months go by, but I want you to take what you need right now from this topic and implement it into your business. You can't do all of it at once, and you will figure out what's the most important for you and for your team and for your rank advancement and skill development. So, keep checking in with your leader, and this will ensure growth and development along the way. By implementing these tools we have outlined in these calls, you really will be set up for amazing, amazing success. So I will get this call posted, and the homework, let me go over the homework real quick. Call to action. Just because this is the last call in our series doesn't mean that the work ends here for you. It has really just begun. Remember, what you put in is what you will reap. What you sow is what you reap. So please review all the information on this call, review the information on the other calls, and assess your calls to action and their completion. Review what you need to do to achieve the goal of team manager. Chart your progress using the team manager checklist, which I will post. Please send your leader a recap of what you have taken away from this training, as well as your target date for promoting the team manager. It is so powerful to pick a date, and it brings accountability. And I know some of you have already done this, but the last thing was watch the recruiting interview in Jamberry University. I look forward to partnering with you and walking alongside you on your rise to leadership. And it's been so fun to do this training with you. I have learned so much from this training, and I hope you have too, and that it's been beneficial to you. And I will be getting in touch with Julie soon about having some sort of call with her. So please, please, please listen to the calls and finish the homework so you can be a part of that call with Julie. So thank you. Thank you for working so hard and for doing this training with us.